Hello and welcome to Sweet Home California. My name is Jennifer and I believe there is hope for California. This is a happy video. Thank you for joining me. My last video was talking about the Gavin Newsom law that was going to ban parody videos. Mr. Reagan had put out a video on about Kamala Harris that took her existing campaign video and put some AI voice generated over top of that made her sound a lot more truthful, but probably wouldn't help her case any. Um, then Elon Musk posted it on X without actually labeling it parody, and apparently Newsom was afraid that too many people might think that it was actually real. So he decided, basically just based on that he was going to pass a law, and I think in like a record time, within a couple weeks, that bill became law that it was illegal to poke fun and to let people know exactly where the candidates stand if the candidates didn't actually say it themselves, but their actions speak louder. Anyhow, of course, that immediately resulted in a bunch of lawsuits, including from Mr. Reagan, the creator of the original video, and also the Babylon Bee, which had this to say about Gavin Newsom's ad. Let me get to that real quick. Yep. Yeah, there are apps to track. This is all true. Um, as you can see, that was the type of parody that was being put out that offended Gavin Newsom so much. That wasn't the one that initiated the law. It was the one on Kamala Harris, which I played in my last video. But anyhow, you can see that would certainly get Newsom riled up, I'm sure. Now, there was supposed to be in the law a carve out that said that satire and parody was exempt from this law, but as you can see with the lawsuits that both Babylon Bee did and Mr. Reagan, even though they labeled it as satire, they still went through and put money behind it to press this lawsuit to have the law suspended or overturned. Well, while it's going through the court system, good news is that a judge in California is blocking that law. And let me just read a little bit of it. So, a federal judge on Wednesday blocked California measure restricting the use of digitally altered political deepfakes just 2 weeks after Gavin Newsom signed the bill into law. Now, I just wish that the anti 2A laws that Gavin Newsom pushes would be so quickly suspended while going through the courts, but it never seems to work out that way. But thankfully, at least this one did, and we at least have our First Amendment still in effect right now. All right, so the ruling is a blow to a push by the state's leading Democrats to rein in misleading content on social media ahead of Election Day. Now, I don't know about you, but I felt like everything said in that video was 100% spot on. The only thing that was misleading was that it was Gavin Newsom actually saying it in plain English rather than people having to just sift through all the news and finding out that that's really how he feels and that's really what is happening. But the facts that were put out there, everything was correct. But the thing is that those parody ads, they spark people to think more about things and to look into things and to find out the truth for themselves. I don't think anybody would have actually believed that that was Gavin Newsom actually saying any of that, just like I don't believe that any person would believe that what Kamala said in that first parody video was what she was actually saying. The problem is that they don't want people to see what their policies actually are, and to then go in and investigate and to see, where is the truth, where is it false, and realize that, oh yeah, Newsom does believe all these things. Newsom has put forth these laws. Newsom has um, been advocating for the state taking control of children if parents don't want to affirm their child's gender, that sort of thing. So continuing on, Mr. Coles, who's also known as Mr. Reagan on X, sued to prevent the state from enforcing that law after posting an AI-generated video of the Harris campaign ad on the social media site. He claimed the video was protected by the First Amendment because it was a parody, and the judge agreed. So really appreciate that. Is awesome. I'll put a link in this video in the description so that you can get to the rest of that. But the next thing I have to share with you is Gavin Newsom called a special session, which apparently they could do that whenever they want. I tried to look into what does it cost to call the state legislature back for a special session, and I couldn't find that anywhere. But I'm sure there's got to be a cost. This is the election season. All the assemblymen, the state senators, they have their elections to run, and the state session was supposed to end, I believe it was August 30th. And Gavin Newsom called them back in order to vote on a very pressing matter. That is the amount of gas that is available in storage tanks in California, because he believed that it was required to keep the prices down. Not the state taxes, that the highest in the nation. The state taxes on fuel in California is higher than any other state. No, that wasn't the reason. That's not what he was going to work on to lower the cost for Californians. And it wasn't to drill, baby, drill, because California has some of the biggest reserves in the country. And at one point we were, I want to say it was at least like we had like 50%. It was huge. I have to double check that. But it was a huge amount of fuel that California has and that we were pumping out and adding to the amount that we were able to use here in California and elsewhere. I believe like 1985, I heard 5% of the fuel that came into California came from foreign sources, and somewhere around 50% of the fuel used by Californians was produced in California, and the rest was from the rest of the United States. So 95% of the fuel used in California was domestic, 5% was foreign. Fast forward to now, Newsom has attacked drilling within the state, shutting everything down, not allowing any new refineries to be built, and now it's completely reversed. And we have, I believe, is close to 90% of our fuel that we use in California comes from foreign sources, and the rest comes from domestic. There's your reason for the skyrocketing prices in California. And then, of course, if you have problems at the docks where a lot of this fuel is coming into, because it's foreign oil, right? So it's coming in not through a pipeline because that got canceled, but it's coming through on ships. So because of these price fluctuations, Gavin Newsom was feeling the pressure what do we have to do to reduce these price fluctuations? And again, not the real reason, not the root cause. No, we need to have mandated storage capacity, kind of like a strategic fuel reserve, but for the state. So by having, didn't see how many millions of barrels there Newsom is going to require on this, but the proposed law was to have storage of fuel so that if we had problems at the docks or we had a conflict in the Middle East where prices suddenly spiked, then we could pull from those reserves to try and keep the price steady. Anyhow, let me go ahead and show you a little bit about this. Absolutely. So while all these reserves are being squirreled away, what does that do to the supply? It reduces it. Prices go up. Again, they're not focused on the core problems. It's taxed too much. We don't have our own domestic availability, and we're too reliant on the foreign oil that's coming across the ocean, not even through a pipeline. So, anyhow, that's the bad news. But here's the good news, because remember, I said that we've got some great wins, and here we go. The Senate, so the Assembly, they passed that yesterday, but the California Senate refuses to meet for Governor Newsom's special session on gas prices and oil supply. This is apparently completely unprecedented. There is a history of special sessions that they've had in the past. So they had one last year, 2023. There's a number that they didn't have. Then they go back to 2015. They had two sessions. Then they go back another year. They had one in two sessions in 2014, 2013. Nothing for 1 year there. Then 2011. They had 8 sessions in 2000 for the 2009 2010 year. That was during the height of or the depths of the recession that we had under Obama. So a lot of it had to do with the budget and what they were going to do to try and keep that balanced and bring in revenue and things like that. But apparently, though, they have never refused to meet. And in California law, it does state that the governor can require them to meet. They do. There is no law. The law doesn't cover that they have to vote for it or that they have to um, uh, pass it, but they do have to meet. And the state senator said nope. And it is a supermajority Senate, just like it is a supermajority Assembly in the state of California. And they said no, they're not going to do stupid votes right before the election. So I don't know that is really a change in heart on those senators, but they are just seemingly a bit more politically savvy, and some of them are feeling the heat because we are making a huge push in California to try and reduce the stranglehold that the Democrats have. And though I don't see us getting a majority and in either house, maybe we can remove the supermajority and require the Democrats to moderate a bit more and work with the independents and the Republicans in the state. So, anyhow, that is the great news that I wanted to share with you. We have won against the First Amendment attack, and we just won to not have this stupid bill considered in a special session. Now, that's not to say that they won't bring it back up in January, but hopefully you will be thinking about this, especially if you're in California, when you are voting, and make sure that you vote in some common sense people. All right. So, anyhow, God bless you. I am so appreciative that you are watching. And I just wanted to share with you a verse. This is Isaiah 35:4. Say to those who have an anxious heart, be strong, fear not. Behold, your God will come and save you. Yes, there are 365 verses in the Bible that talk about fear and not fearing and relying on the Lord. And in this season that we are feeling very anxious, just remember God's got this. He will take care of us, and the battle is his, and we just need to listen to what he wants us to do and to play our part. But remember, it is God's will. It will happen. I believe that he loves us and he wants what's best for us, but we do need to turn to him, ask him, rely on him, and he will come through. God bless, and I will talk to you next time. uh, Talk to you later. Bye.